All right, today is day 4 in the hospital, and here is meal number 1, breakfast. First of all, right on top, we have the menu for tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at that later. We have coffee, decaf of course, as I have come to know, another bottle of that Silk Very Vanilla Soy Milk, which I have yet to try. We have oatmeal, yay, oatmeal, woohoo! I'm very excited about the oatmeal. We have some fresh cut melon, which is always a pleasant addition to breakfast. And what do we have under the lid? Bum, 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 bum. We have, hey, look at that, a tofu scramble. We've got mushrooms, we've got some sort of green, I'm gonna bet spinach, that's amazing. We've got tomato, or nope, bell pepper, even better. That looks absolutely fantastic, and all of this wonderful tofu. This is a breakfast to be proud of. Nutrition department, you guys got it right. I'm so happy to see this. This bodes well for the day. So let's see how it is. Let's see. Very good. Need some Cholula, which I'm gonna go get here, but that's pretty good. They should be proud of themselves. It hurts a little bit to know I could have been having this every day. So oatmeal is actually one of my favorite things to have for breakfast. And honestly, oatmeal is one of my favorite things to have regardless of the meal, whether it's breakfast. I've eaten oatmeal for breakfast, lunch. I've even eaten oatmeal for dinner. I've eaten oatmeal as a snack. Oatmeal is awesome for a lot of reasons. One of which is it's great for your cholesterol. It actually helps with your blood sugar if you eat the right kind of oats. If you eat those instant things that you just pour water in, which, I mean, these very well may be, I don't know. I'm going to pretend that these are slow cooked rolled oats. That's what I'm going to pretend, because if I were eating them at home, they would either be that or steel cut. But I took the oats that the hospital provided, and I added some fresh blueberries and some walnut shavings, or crushed walnuts rather, I should say. And first bite. My only complaint is that I waited too long to eat them, so they're not quite warm, but they're good. Now, if you eat oatmeal like this, shouldn't talk with my mouth full, sorry. Now, if you eat oatmeal like this, you should not expect it to be all brown, sugary, and buttery and sweet. You should expect it to be a little bland. The oatmeal becomes a vehicle for the flavors of the things that you put in it, like the blueberries or the walnuts or whatever fruit you top your oatmeal with. And I do recommend topping your oatmeal with fruit. Now, there are a few things that you can do to make your oatmeal more flavorful without actually adding processed sugar. One that I like to do, is to crush up about a half of a fairly ripe banana and mix it in with the oats while they're still hot in the pan. That gives you a sweetness that permeates the whole thing. You can, of course, if you choose, use a small amount of honey or syrup, or maple syrup I would recommend if you're going to do that, or something like that. But the bottom line is, regardless of what we call those things, they're really just sugar. So be careful about that, and learn to appreciate the more subtle flavors of oatmeal and the sweetness that comes from the things that you add to it. Like, one great thing that you can do to add a burst of flavor, a difference in texture, and a little bit of sweetness to some oatmeal is to take a few slices of an orange and chop them up and put them in there. That added acidity of the citrus and the juicy sweetness that comes with it really adds a lot to your oatmeal. You can do a little bit of orange zest with it as it's cooking, and you can sort of have an orange flavor base, which is wonderful as well. I'm gonna take another bite. If you go with unsweetened plant milk, then of course you're going to save on your carbs. If you want something that's going to add a little more flavor to your overnight oats. Hey, what's up? Oh, excuse me. Welcome to day 4, meal number 2, as we continue to try to eat healthy on a vegan diet while in the hospital. We have a wonderful peanut butter apple and almond wrap. Look, I have no complaints. That looks absolutely delicious, and it sounds even better. And then over here we have some squash, which, hey, that's great. Some veggies. That's not quite as much veggies as I'd like, but it's veggies. We've got some silk milk. Still not drinking this. Maybe I should, I don't know. I'm just having a hard time accepting the fact that it has 15 grams. You can't see them there. Where is it? I'm trying to get it in focus. There we go. That it has 15 grams of added sugars. It's a lot. And there is some protein there, but not quite enough. So at some point I'm probably going to go ahead and drink some of that, but I'm starting a little collection over on one side of the room. But again, apple, peanut butter, and almond wrap on clearly a whole wheat wrap. So that looks fantastic. Gonna enjoy that right now for meal 2, day 4 of eating healthy while in the hospital on a vegan diet. Meal 3 of day 4, trying to eat healthy in the hospital while on a vegan diet. It appears that my ticket now says vegan. It took 4 days for it to finally say that and to apparently mean it enough to stick with it. But let's see what we've got here. We have decaffeinated tea. We have applesauce and cinnamon. And under the lid we have, whoa, marinated baked tofu, white rice, green beans, and a roll. This, my friends, looks absolutely fantastic. So, no supplementing needed here, no homemade dressing needed here. I'm afraid that day 4 of eating healthy in the hospital has come to an end. And so we come to the end of day 4. Is there going to be a day 5, 6, or 7? Well, for me, there is. For you, probably not. I think I've milked this topic for about as long as I can, and if you're still watching and you're showing any interest, then you're probably a good friend of mine, so God bless you for that. That having been said, I find that now that they've gotten it right, now that they have me listed in the system as vegan, and the nutrition department is able to send the foods that are appropriate for the diet that I've chosen to be on, the videos were less interesting perhaps, and eating healthy in the hospital on a vegan diet was a whole lot easier. The food was flavorful, it was nutritious, it was really delicious, and it was well balanced in regards to things like vegetables and protein, and there were still choices to make. There were still decisions that I had to make. For instance, I chose not to eat the roll because it was white bread, and I chose not to drink the soy milk because it had 14 grams of added sugar. So there were still decisions that needed to be made, and I was still able to supplement by adding some blueberries and walnuts to my oatmeal and things like that. But by and large, it was a whole lot easier today than it's been on any other day that I've been in here. Now, as I said, for me, there's probably going to be a day 5, 6, and 7, but I don't see any need to make full-length videos about those for you. You've watched enough of me trying to figure out how to eat food in the hospital, I think. If you did want more of this kind of video, then please, leave a comment and I'll accommodate you. That having been said, I am separated while here in the hospital from things like my digital scale and my weight loss tracking. So I don't know how much I've gained or lost while I've been in the hospital. I'll have to wait until I get home in a few days to see the answer to that question. I have a feeling that it'll be down, that the numbers on the scale will be lower, if for no other reason than I've lost a lot of water weight while I was in here trying to deal with this infection in my leg and some of the medications that they've been giving me. This does skew my experiment of, what'll happen if I eat for 90 days vegan just a little bit, because other factors have come into play. But I have maintained that vegan diet. Maybe not as whole food, plant-based as I would like it to have been, but at the very least, it's been vegan. So I'm very, very pleased with that. And to tell you the truth, there are a couple of lessons that I've learned while I've been in here. One is that choice is really important when it comes to food and diet, and that being limited in my choices and not having access to the foods that I would like to have eaten, the healthier options that I would like to have provided myself with, made sticking to this diet a whole lot harder. That having been said, the act of sticking to it within these difficult circumstances has done nothing but strengthen my resolve to go at least 90 days eating a whole food plant-based diet, and quite possibly extending even beyond that. Because if I can make it on the limited choices that I had here, then how much easier is it going to be once I get out and I have my whole pantry and refrigerator and a grocery store down the street. One side note, something that I thought of as I was going through this, I'm in here for just a short time, but there are people, particularly those in assisted living communities, who are limited in their food choices every day, every month, every year, however long they may be in there, and they're having to subsist on what other people have chosen for them. And often those that are doing the choosing are choosing based on budget rather on what is best. And that is something for us to consider when we think about how we vote, when we think about the things that we support, when we think about how, when, and where we volunteer. What can we do to make the lives of people in those situations just a little bit better? That's one thing that being in here is causing me to think about. And who knows, maybe I'll have more to say on that in a future video. But for now, thank you for watching Eating Healthy in the Hospital when on a vegan diet. And this is the final episode of this particular series. So again, thank you for watching, and you have a blessed day.